some people say that they pray all day. They talk, they walk, and they're praying at the same time, which is a great thing because there are some scriptures that say pray without ceasing. You can always pray. So they can pray at all times. And some people, they don't have the ability to do that. Now, they may be cognizant or mindful of their prayer life, and their prayer life, they can always feel themselves giving a portion of themselves back to God, no matter what. But they still need that solitude, that silent time where they're doing nothing else but praying. And then they may just be praying while sitting in the chair. They may be praying while standing up. And all of those are effective, fervent prayers. However, some people who may feel tightness in their life or internal conflict in their life, still, after they get that much solitude, whether they're standing or whether they're sitting, they may say, I feel the need to kneel. I have to get on my knees and really humble myself and pray to God. And they may put their knees on the floor, put their elbows on the bed, and put their hands together and pray. And then some people still may feel a little pull, a little tightness, a little angst. And those people, if you ever seen people praying on rugs, they may have their knees kind of folded underneath their bodies. They may have put their butts on the back of their feet on their heels, and pray in that kneel down situation where their head basically barely comes towards the edge or very shortly past their knees, with their knees on the ground. So they bow down, humbling themselves, they have to give a little more of themselves symbolically to God when they pray. And then some people, and this hadn't been very many people, but if you still have that part of yourself that's still been eaten up a little bit, where you feel like it's not as smooth as it should be, there's still some type of knot in me, even though to the naked eye, I seem like a seamless string or a seamless stream, but there's still like a knot in me where I know I'm going in the wrong direction, just a little bit. Now those people, they've been called, they say they prostrate themselves. And that's basically to lay all the way flat on the surface, the marching surface, the ground, the floor, laying all the way on the floor with your head down on the ground, facing down, to basically where you're sniffing dust when you lay down and praying in that fashion. And there's not many people that have had to do that, but some do. And that's just the connectivity between yourself and the higher power, God the Father, whatever you esteem to be that universal force that you know you are connected with. And in this clay, this dirt that is you, that makes up us, you know you have to give it all away in order to stay connected to your creator. Some people, you won't feel better at all unless you bow all the way down. So you have to bow all the way down sometimes if you still feel that little bit of snag or pull against you. It's like what I've seen in this Gynarchy. This is a Gynarchy. And when we have a Gynarchy, one thing I've learned about women, you don't want to make them mad because they may be cyclical. Now, a woman will get fed up and don't want to have anything to do with you, but that's a chance you're gonna have to take in the Gynarchy if you're always gonna do what's right. So one thing about finding your position within the Gynarchy, it really takes you to have to humble yourself. You got to really humble yourself because you know the Gynarchy means the woman is in charge. But finding your role within the Gynarchy means you're gonna have to do the right thing. You just can't bow down and say, yes, yes, yes. You know, anywhere you attempted to do that, that always leads you in the wrong place. Whenever you just bow to whoever's in charge and acquiesce to everything they say and then you become a Hop and Bob, then you become an Uncle Tom. So definitely in a Gynarchy, there are roles of that nature as well. So you don't ever want to become that do it guy, that yes'em guy. So you're gonna have to tell the truth. And I saw in the Gynarchy that Vanessa Bryant, the Holy Kobe, Kobe passed away. This is that day. But she was saying she didn't want to make a big deal of the day because she didn't want to make a big deal of the day that Kobe died. She was more in tune with making a big deal with the way he lived, which is awesome, 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 awesome. You don't want to make the widow Bryant upset. You don't want to upset her. She's mourning. That was her husband. However, the truth got to be told. I'm a missionary, and I can speak on this. He's not your husband anymore. So the way everybody views Kobe, the day they would like to show a little bit more love, might be that day where they feel like he left. And you don't control those rights of when people are going to mourn Kobe or how they'll mourn Kobe. Might be a bitter pill to swallow. It might be a tough thing to express, but it is the truth, and she needs to know that. You don't control the rights of the memories that everybody else shared, with the way he presented himself and the way he lived. That's something that you have to share. Can't even hold on to that. So that kind of thing, even within yourself, you may be thinking something is yours and exclusively yours and all yours. It's not true. It's like if somebody believed in Jesus, you heard people say, you can't tell me nothing about my Jesus. But Jesus belongs to everybody who believes. So, I'm not saying Kobe is Jesus, but definitely Kobe had a great impact on a lot of different people. So you're not going to be able to control how they remember him. I believe Jesus said, when you remember me, I need you to basically drink wine that represents my blood and eat bread that represents my body. Now, I don't know if anybody uncovered the manuscript on how Kobe said he would like to be remembered. And he may have said, when I'm gone, I need to be remembered in this fashion. But those kind of things we have to cleave to, not how other people feel by the way we remember Kobe or whoever, when we all might fall into in those shoes, trying to control the way people remember our loved ones. But we have to step up and tell people the truth. So my position in Gynarchy is one of a missionary. I'm already a missionary, so I know. I've been charged to tell the truth no matter who's in charge. I know what my role is. There was a old song, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., and he said, "You're whining like girlies. We've been around the world twice. All we got is more ice and more nice." And I'll start right there. And he died, obviously, Notorious B.I.G. But he'll be remembered for a long time for that mentality. He strayed away from that whining and complaining. He lived his life, he took his lumps, and he died, and he's been immortalized. But now I turn on the TV or turn on the radio or turn on the phone and see so many people so disgruntled all the time, so much complaining. I'm not going to take this. Disgruntled workers just leaving posts and abandoning posts, refusing to duty because of the way somebody made you feel. Well, I'm not telling you to cash out and crash out and down the street. But I am telling you, be brave enough to walk your road. Don't be so scared of, I can't have one day where I'm unhappy. I'm out of here. Biggie said you whining like a girl. You can't tough it out just a little bit. So please don't follow this trend of human beings these days. One day of unhappiness. I can't trust these people. I can't live with these people. I can't work for these people no more. They lied to me. They misled me. I gotta go. Well, I'll tell you right now, how you think you ever keep a woman if you believe in a woman? If you are a woman, how you think you ever keep a man? Or if you're a woman that like women, how you think you're gonna keep a woman? How you think you're gonna keep a mate if somebody does something that offends you, you think you're just bailing out? That's not how life works. It's a constant cycle of forgiveness. Or a man that likes a man. Any kind of two people trying to walk together. Well, in order to agree, there are definitely going to be a little peak, a little valley, a little rotunda, but you're going to have to learn how to stay committed no matter how you feel. So I'm just wagging my finger, definitely James Harden, and I'm wagging my finger a little bit because I don't know. But, the rumor mill is starting to stink, with Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of people following these people. And that's not the kind of character you want to emulate. Even Jay-Z said it. You got to take your lumps. Learn to take your lumps. Project Pat, I believe it was Choices 2. And the guy took the money. And he tried to leave the meeting with the money. And Project Pat said, wait a minute, man. You don't ever agree to nothing in this game without knowing the terms. So when you have agreed to things and you didn't know the terms, and then you start to smell what you consider the truth, and now you want out all of a sudden, why you didn't do that due diligence beforehand? You were eager to get that bag. Now you got that bag, you don't want to take what comes with it. Don't follow these kind of people who are looking for followers. Don't follow these kind of people, because even if you free yourselves of these situations, but if you did it through whining like a girl, then please understand those female tendencies, or those tendencies to throw your hands up and not finish a task, whether you enjoy success post making that decision or not. You haven't learned your lesson. And as you stream out and as you live forward, you'll always be able to connect with that knot that's still inside of you. It's got you basically going in the wrong direction, even though you started enjoying success by whining and complaining and getting your way. So be mindful of that. Stray away from whining, stray away from complaining. If you agree to something, deal with it. Take your lumps. Because if you don't take your lumps and you allow people to cover things up for you, then you'll end up like the quarterback from the Buffalo Bills. Now, when the quarterback from the Buffalo Bills was drafted, he had to change, or at least he had to say he changed, or he at least had to apologize, because when he got drafted, or right around the time he was getting drafted to the Buffalo Bills, reports started coming out that he was a racist. So it really wasn't a big deal with people of Buffalo, because there's not a lot of diversity in the town of Buffalo or the city of Buffalo. Now, definitely be a lot of diversity in the locker room for the Buffalo Bills. But the overwhelming opinion was that he'll be okay in Buffalo. And he has been so far. Got a good wide receiver. He's been throwing that ball to him. They say they're just like brothers, and it's been connection. He's been playing for about 3 or 4 years in the NFL. Great. But don't you understand, if your change is not real, that heat is going to come to you. And it'll be a lot of heat that comes to you to where it'll be obvious if your change is real or not. So Buffalo, they started facing adversity Sunday. They started facing adversity because they were playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Kansas City Chiefs were beating them. So if the heat was on the Bills, then the heat starts getting on the quarterback, which is Josh Allen. So Josh Allen needs to make some plays, or the Bills are going to lose. But he can't make any plays because these guys are all over the place. So now he starts feeling the heat. Now he starts feeling the heat and the pressure. He's not getting the job done. So eventually, everything that he needed to show his true self, it happened. He was about to be sacked. He was about 20 yards away from the line of scrimmage. He kept getting pushed back, but he didn't fall. So the ref started blowing the whistle. But you know how it is in football, these guys still playing and they blew the whistle. So basically, he goes down. Another player comes in a little late because they were blowing that whistle dead, like his forward progress has been stopped. So he's not going to go anywhere. So just blow the whistle even though he's not down. So the other guy, he's still scrambling in the background. He gets there. So Josh Allen ended up going down. So the guy who brought him down, Josh Allen is down with the ball. And then the guy who tied him up, they're all near. But what does Josh Allen do? They realize they're going to lose. He realizes he's not going to get the job done. And then he kind of shows a hint that his change may have not been real. Apologizing for all those nigger tweets that he was sending back in the day. And what does he do? He takes that ball and he throws it at that guy. Now, he may not have been thinking when he threw that ball, nigger, he might not have even been thinking that. But since that was his history, a lot of people who watching it thinking, wow, Josh Allen is a racist. Now, he could say a lot of things like people love to say. Man, the whistle had blown. He hit me after the whistle. Man, I was just a little frustrated because my team was losing. And that could all be true. But at the same time, it's also true that the heat and the pressure from the situation you found yourself in was enough to make you combustible, to make that true self that you had to camouflage for the last few years to spring back up and show that you're still the same guy. Now, obviously, his teammates are not as cognitive in their processes, where they'll be able to see that. So he'll be fine. But anybody who's in the know knows that Josh Allen has a problem with niggers. And he's still a great guy because we all have some type of internal conflict. We all have that knot inside of us somewhere. Because if we didn't have that knot inside of us somewhere, then we would be what the world's been waiting on. Maybe it's a savior. Maybe it's a counselor. Maybe it's someone who is not fully invested in the material things of life, where they could give us a little more insight on our true purpose and why we are here. If there was someone who was void of any knots or blemishes, then the world would be in a lot better place because God would then have a true spokesman walking the earth. So I'm not putting down Josh Allen, because we all have something going on that's preventing us from being who we are. But let's just be mindful of it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, send them to New York City. Send them to Brooklyn. If you have any pics, videos, or captions, send them to LA. This is TERRENTINO News, and I am in the throne room of Little Vatican, and we are brought to you by Unity, the Movement. And we're live, coming from Universal Headquarters. This is my favorite show. And you know what this show does do? This one in particular, thinking about the greatness of Kobe Bryant, but still being respectful of Vanessa. Just thinking about trying to be real and letting my change be real and not whining, not complaining. This does remind me of a song.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? I'd like to welcome to the stage the lyrically acclaimed. I like this young man because when he came out with the phrase, he went from ashy to classy. I like that. So everybody in the house, give a warm round of applause for the notorious B.I.G. The notorious B.I.G., ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him, y'all. A nigga never been as broke as me. I like that. When I was young, I had 2 pair of leads. Besides that, the pinstripes and the gray. The one I wore on Mondays and Wednesdays. While niggas flirt, I'm sewing tigers on my shirt and alligators. You wanna see the inside? Huh, I see you later. Here come the drama. Oh, that's that nigga with the fake. Wow! Why you punch me in my face? Stay in your place. Play your position. Here come my intuition. Go in this nigga pocket. Rob him while his friends watching. And hoes clocking. Here comes respect. His crew's your crew, or they might be next. Look at they man, big man, they never try, so we roll with them, stole with them. I mean loyalty. Niggas bought me milks at lunch. The milks with chocolate, the cookies, butter crunch, 88, Oshkosh and blue and white duck. Ask the blunt.